We are playing the great, or I guess I don't know yet if it's great, but the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I have been waiting for this game for like 6 years or something now. And it's finally here. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or if I'm just having too high expectations now. Which kinda sucks, but oh well. Let's just begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. I wonder if they changed anything. They like remade everything in a new engine as it looks. Because before they were just using the engine that... No, I'll do this later. Before they were just...
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hey
No
agent.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
This game doesn't want me to play. Or to talk, I guess, rather.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sure, let's do this at first. Why not? Can I do anything special yet? Because until now everything looks as it did before. Just like with better
Yet there was
graphics.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Helping coping mechanisms. Oh,
Stanley stepped
best
into the broom
place.
closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Alright. You know what? It has a nice
There was
broom.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Oh, look at all those beautiful tools. Such great...
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
I wonder if they just used the old... how are they called?
Are
Voice lines?
you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
But yeah, the broom closet probably my favorite part of this whole game ever made.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. but it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
I like that the pipes are just drawn onto the walls here. Kind of weird, but alright.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I don't know why he likes to shit on the broom
Stanley was
closet.
fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
At least.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Alright. I guess enjoy annoying her until she comes here.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I love the broom closet in this game. It's funny. Wait, did that look different? Did they make that... Why did they add a door there? No, I'm not going downstairs yet. I'm going up, like the narrator told me. My gacha video is taking forever to export. Oh, that sucks. Ooh. I forgot that this was an actual room. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Those aren't open. And nothing.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
I knew the
Shocked,
code once.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
What's the point of the goal of this game? Basically nothing. The goal of this game is just to play the game, basically.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
You basically just play the game to annoy the narrator, and then you're happy that you annoyed the narrator.
2845.
Like, for example, I'm not typing in any numbers on this keyboard. Because he says I should, but I don't want to. So I'm not gonna. And that's the whole point of the game, basically.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. And until now, I don't know what they changed because I just am going the main path for now and seeing if there's anything different. Until now, I just noticed that they made everything look a bit better because the first iteration of this game was made in the same engine as Half-Life and all the Half-Life 2 and all such games from Valve. But yeah, I'm not sure what they changed.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, that's new.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back
That's
into
nice.
the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I didn't know that would work, but I'm happy it did. Can I go back now?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I love the narrator in this game. Wait, does that still exist?
Eight.
Yeah, it says 8, I'm happy. Can I do anything here? Don't think I can do anything, that's sad. I hoped if I could go up again I could maybe just get back all the way. Or something along those lines. But maybe not. Or probably not.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator
Sad.
and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
But I have an idea. Imagine how mad he was the first time I went back up. But what if I do it a second time?
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
I don't know who narrates this game, but I'm definitely a big fan of them.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
You know, the voice sounds oddly familiar, I don't know why. I don't think I heard that voice anywhere else, to be fair.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
I think that's all he had to say, probably. Oh well.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
I wonder how many times he'll entertain it. Oh, he doesn't give any voice lines anymore.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop.
And finally...
Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here.
I didn't think this would actually lead to an ending, but alright.
We're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Did I hear explosions? Does he want us to write a big fat essay? Maybe. Would not be too weird for this game. I know that there's one thing that takes 4 hours to do, one ending, which I won't get, or at least not on stream.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Can I get somewhere out of this way? Would be funny. Doesn't look like I can break out of this.
You ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling, and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative.
No,
Don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Oh, door opened. No, not an essay, my biggest weakness. Kind of, but public speech is also a big weakness. Look at me! I'm popular! Wow! And that's the ending. Alright. I thought there would be more, but I guess it makes sense for just it end to at the suspense point. Wait, actually,
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Where's the explosions? Nowhere. I don't think there will be explosions in this game, probably. Honestly speaking, what did I miss? My little sis was trying to lock me in the bathroom? What? Why is the narrator so dramatic? Because he's a cool narrator.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm happy with the first ending I found already. Oh, this exists now. That's a great ending. I hope it's still the same computers, because that's something I actually still know. That's BS if there's no explosions. Oh no!
Two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I hope I can go into any of these doors, someone. Would be kinda nice.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
What's written on that cup? I can't read it.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
This is half an essay. Is this the back rooms or not? It's not the back rooms, trust me.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
I'm happy they kept all the old lines. They were good. Be my Valentine, dead, and I hate Mondays. Nice. It means your coworker doesn't care for you and just left you. Oh wait, now I know why that voice seems so familiar. Wait, why? Was he in anything else? But
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
you know, I could sacrifice myself. There is a long fall. What is this? Let's go.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I love the narrator.
All
But
of
they've
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
but Dave shall be
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Let me talk, narrator. But Dave shall be sacrificed soon and turn into his movie with explosions. Why does everything have to be explosive? Can I go over here? That door's open. That's... Haha, 420.
Stanley went around
Funny
touching
number.
every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
It's a nice room, just a bit chaotic. Damn, am I the only one who doesn't like an explosion? Depends on the explosion, I guess. Most of them kinda suck, I guess.
No, apparently not.
I agree with explosions, it will make a good movie. A good movie, often yes. A good game, not necessarily.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Yes.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wait, why do you all want to sacrifice Wolfie? What's going on there?
Stanley was so
do
bad
this?
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Can I still get up on chairs somehow? Doesn't look like it. That's sad. Hope they could somehow get to that door. Alright, let's try this again. And this time for real. Because this wasn't in the original game. That's a new path. What? I came from there, alright.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.